Hello, Dr. Sueki here, and welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, I'll be sharing effective classroom management tips and strategies. Classroom management tips are proactive tips and strategies that should be in place for the smooth and effective running of your classroom to minimize disruptions and the need for additional behavior management strategies or crisis intervention plans. I'll be sharing 6 proactive and effective classroom management tips. Tip number 1. Establish and maintain relationships with all your students. An initial effective and proactive classroom management strategy is to get to know your students and ensure that this relationship is maintained throughout the school year. As the better we know and understand our students, the more goodwill and knowledge we have to draw on when the going gets tough or should conflicts or disputes arise. Maintaining relationships entail having regular check-ins, regular discussions, and frequent engaging activities with both individual and small groups of students. Tip number 2. Establishing morning routines. An effective classroom management strategy is to ensure an established morning routine, which can be meeting your students at the door, greeting your students, having morning meetings, having share and care sessions daily, every morning, to ensure a daily connection and also to get to know and see where they are when they arrive to you in the mornings. Tip number 3. Strategic classroom seating. A great way to effectively manage the pulse of student activity and engagement in your classroom is to be strategic where students are seated and to be aware of student partnerships and seating arrangement collaborations that work or student seating arrangements and clusters that may not work. Tip number 4. Implementing positive behavior intervention strategies in your classroom. Implementing and ensuring the use of positive behavior intervention supports, like the use of rewards, praise, and acknowledging positive behavior while ignoring low-level disruptions can typically be more effective than punishing or even disciplining students. Tip number 5. Setting clear expectations. A great strategy to ensure effective running of your classroom is to set clear expectations in the form of classroom rules that are clear, concise, and positive rather than negative and disciplinary. Rather than just displaying rules for behavior, have conversations with your students about why the rules matter and about the reasons for the rules. Have your learners understand that rules are necessary to keep them safe and focused on learning. Tip number 6. Be consistent in applying rules. For our students and our elementary learners to comply to our classroom rules, it is important that our rules are consistent for everyone, to every student, at all times, without favoritism or partiality. Tip number 7. Implementing an engaging yet rigorous curriculum. The best effective classroom management strategy is to ensure that our learners and our students are engaged. Not just engaged in their own learning, but are willing participants who are excited to be a part of their own learning. Again, these classroom management tips should be proactive tips that should be in place to both minimize and dispel interruptions. Please visit my website to download a copy of these tips. Thank you for learning with Dr. Sueki today. See you in the next lesson.